Hello, I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and we need help.
Each week we stumble through a new book, method, or concept that brings us one step closer to being our best self.
Yes, we make fun of ourselves.
And others.
But mostly just ourselves. So here's to not taking self-help quite so seriously.
Welcome to We Need Help. I'm Lizzy.
And I'm Izzy, and today's topic is minimalism. Or hoarding.
Oh, or hoarding.
Yeah, and we're also going to be going over Fumio Sasaki's book, Goodbye Things, Later.
And we're also going to be shaming you into getting rid of all your stupid shit. Because we got rid of all of our stupid shit.
Buy shit. Buy shit. We should write a book. Goodbye shit.
Tell everybody why we chose this book.
Oh my gosh. So this is why when painful things happen, don't give up, because wonderful things can come from it. So in about September, I do coaching projects. That's how I earn my living. And I lost a coaching project. They decided to close the offices that I was supposed to do this coaching project for. And it was done. I didn't have anything.
You lost the majority of your income.
Lost it just overnight. And so I was like scrambling to get more income and nothing was coming in, but I think that's the universe. For a reason, nothing was coming in. So nothing was coming in, and, the savings were just like melting. The iceberg was slowly melting. I was the polar bear, like, eh. And I have this ring, this very expensive designer ring that I was like just hanging on to. Like, it was my status symbol because it was like a really
Who's
fancy
your designer?
brand. It was Cartier.
I love when people say Cartier.
It was Cartier.
It was Cartier?
It was
Cartier.
And I was hanging on to this
My
ring.
mother-in-law says,
what?
Cartier.
Cartier.
It's Cartier. Okay.
Anyway, it was a diamond ring. It was just like, and it was like this thing that I was hanging on to. That was like my stat. Like, even if I have zero in the bank account, I got my Cartier ring, right? I got it. I'm somebody. I have arrived. I'm somebody.
You got a Cartier ring.
Right. So.
But you didn't have anything in the bank account. Right?
It was getting to the negatives. So I decided to sell it.
Was that painful?
Oh my God. It was like, first of all, I felt a lot of shame. It took me almost back to my addict days where I was looking for stuff to pawn. Oh yeah. For drug money.
Yeah,
so
it's very white trash.
It brought me to that shame thing. And it was like the one thing I was holding on to that I would not get rid of, no matter what. Like, I'm going to keep my Cartier. And I took it to the place, I don't want to say pawn shop, because it's like it's a nice, they resell really nice, elegant jewelry. It's a very classy pawn shop.
It's not a whore.
Yeah.
It's an escort.
And I took it in there, and suddenly I realized the power this ring had over me. Like, it is.
Tell me more.
It had power over me, and I got rid of it. And something in my brain,
what power?
The power that this ring could solve some problems, but I was hanging on to it for status. To tell you the truth, I didn't even like the ring very much.
You told me that when this is like, I mean, could you get more freaking like rich people problems? Like, when your cleaning lady would come, you would hide the ring.
I would hide it because I was like, oh, it's Cartier, so I don't want her to steal it. So it was taking up a lot of space in my life. Okay. More than it should. Right.
Yeah. More than any piece of jewelry should.
More than any piece of jewelry should. And I was always like, oh, where's it? Because I would take it off and like lotion my hands, and then I was like, oh my God, where is it? And it was just, it was taking up a lot of space. And the minute I sold it, a couple things happened. I felt lighter.
You had more money.
I had a shitload of money in my pocket, so I could make a car payment. So that was great. So I could eat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 2 things happened. Good. I ate food.
Aww.
And Cookie ate food. My dog. I was finally able to afford food. No, I felt lighter, and then for some reason, something in my perception shifted that this ring could make somebody else very happy. You know,
or very like heavy, like you were, very miserable.
Yeah, or like, but you know, whatever. So I got rid of it, and I suddenly, I don't know. It was almost like I felt much lighter, and I just started getting rid of stuff. I came home, and I just started getting rid of stuff, and I'm like, this is what I want. I don't want anything to take up unnecessary space in my head.
Okay,
or in my closet, or anywhere
I didn't
in my
know
life.
You had so much fancy stuff. I was part of this process. You were telling me about it as we were going. I mean, you got rid of all your Fendi. You got rid of all your Versace.
Louis Vuitton. Vuitton. It's gone.
It's gone. Like all of it.
Chanel. I had some Chanel. I had lots of brands that were that were taking up that were hanging in my closet and not worn, but they were the brands.
They were the brands.
So I realized I was associating some kind of status or pride with these fucking brands.
Things
like they were becoming part of like somehow status or personality or whatever, and I just wanted to be free of it. So I took it all to this wonderful shop called Sasaka 5, and I highly recommend it because it's a luxury resale store, but it won't break the bank. Like you can literally buy like a Chanel jacket for like 1/8 of the price. And
you see all these like flights to Warsaw.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
that's awesome. I'm so glad that they were able to help you with that. That's awesome.
I just feel great. And I just decided I'm tired. I know you're tired too. Like I know you are.
Well, you said in this process you're like I feel so much lighter, and you're like I think we need to do a minimalist book. And as this is happening, we sold our house almost a little over a year and a half ago. And we moved into our 2-bedroom condo, which we have a family of 3. It's not like that should be that hard. But we took a lot of our shit from our 4-bedroom house and put it in the 2-bedroom house. And then we put the rest in storage as we're renovating this insanely big house that we probably don't need as well. So let's just be clear. I'm a maximalist. Like I have too much shit. If more is better, I want twice as much. You know what I mean? Like my friend Greg says, if more is better, she's doing fine. Like it's just, so at that time I'm living in this condo and everything is falling at me. Have you ever had that where I'm an organized hoarder, but at some point the 10 pounds of shit doesn't fit in the 5-pound bag anymore. And so it starts falling at you.
Yeah.
So this is happening. And also we're spending so much money. And you know why we're like, a lot of what we're spending we already have the stuff, but we're rebuying it because I can't find it.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you. This is happening. So I was all on board with when I have so much, mothers have so much shit, and plus homeschooling, I just have so much crafting shit. It's just nutty.
Well, it's funny that you say that. Let me just interrupt you for a second. So
Please.
there's a book on minimalism that everybody knows, which is The Joy of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo, right? She has basically publicly come out and said, doesn't apply when you have children. Because
she said that?
because she just had her first child, and she's all about the Japanese, like, very minimalist. If it doesn't spark joy, get rid of it. But then she like added a little annex to the contract, like, doesn't always work when you got kids.
And it's just, and we're living in two different places. So I was ripe for the picking for this book.
Yeah.
I was so ripe for the picking. And I am, because I grew up poor, I don't want to have nothing. Even though I do want to have nothing. And I'll explain that.
Yeah.
It's like, I get so much, like I want so much, and just in case.
Yeah.
And that is such a horrible place to be. And then I like become so frustrated with it that I do something insane.
Yeah.
Like we had a 3-story house in Chicago, and I had it like everybody they called it the cruise ship. Because you'd show up and like everything would be provided for you. Nothing would be like, I had whatever you needed.
I remember being a guest at your house. You even had your mom cooking breakfast. Like
I had like a very maternal cook. Yeah. So, but I mean, there was never an alcohol that somebody drank that wasn't there just in case. There was never, I had extra clothing for, like it's ridiculous. I had a pack and play in case you had a baby. I didn't have children at the time.
Yeah.
So I just in case myself. Well, then when Scarlett was like 2, we lost it, just lost our minds. We're like, fuck it. We're moving to the Virgin Islands, and sold and threw away everything and gave away everything.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember on Facebook seeing like, your pool table, free to whoever wants to pick it up. Your car, like $100, like whoever wants to pick it up. Like you got rid of your car. Like I remember you just giving things away to people who would be willing to pick them up.
Everything. We were just getting rid of everything. And then I just remember that freeing feeling. I remember that feeling so good about shedding that. I'll
tell you something, when the ring was the first thing, but as soon as I started shedding stuff, they stopped consuming my internal space, because the outside world was starting to consume my inside world.
Right.
So it's not about, because I thought minimalism was about kind of just having nothing. It's not about having nothing. It's about having what you need, exactly what you need, but very high quality, which I love. Yeah. So we'll talk about that, because he talks about it in the book, Goodbye Things, but he's just saying have it, but have it be extremely high quality, which I loved, because I had so many clothes, and some of them were very high quality, but some of them were just like, whatever crap. And I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah. So it's just have less, but have it be mega, like great, wonderful quality. So I love that.
I love that too. And I'm like, when I was a kid, I just called my sister. I was like, how many times did we move as kids? She said that we changed schools 13 times.
Wow.
So we moved a lot. And there's something to being like totally, like when you move, you get rid of things you don't want to carry. So like when you go and you move into the new house, it always feels good because it's only the stuff you actually wanted.
Yeah.
So there's something beautiful to that. So I'm like, okay, like I was just like rewinding in my mind all these times. When did I feel the best? And like quarantine. Everybody was cleaning out their shit during quarantine. Don't you remember?
Yeah.
It was like the best. And I remember like we went through the garage, but like slowly but surely, like all this shit creeps in on ya. And I mean, I'm looking at this shirt. I love this shirt. This is one of my favorite color shirts, but I loved it so much I went and bought another one just in case.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's what we're talking about. It's organized hoarding.
Mm.
and I have to fight it with all my might because, I mean, when Irma hit in St. Thomas and we flew off the island, blah, 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 all my food, like they didn't have power for, I think, 5 months. My food, like just my dry goods, fed people for like 5 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be the case. I'm just saying, like,
Well, yeah.
I mean, it turned out it was a pro then, but like it's excessive. Yeah. And I know I'm like that. I'm a maximalist.
Yeah.
That really likes to be a minimalist.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we didn't grow up poor, but we didn't grow up. My parents are from the communist era, communist Poland, where they didn't have stuff either. And like my parents are very, well, my mom anyway, she's minimalist. She doesn't need much, you know? But I didn't like that as a kid because I felt worse than the other kids because I didn't have as much as they did.
Yeah.
And you know that feeling.
Totally.
And I remember at the time when I was in fifth, sixth grade, Z Cavariccis and IOU sweatshirts were the thing. And the coolest girls had all the different color IOU sweatshirts and all the
I don't
Cavariccis.
even know what that is.
Oh, you don't know what those are?
IOU. I know what Z Cavariccis are.
Yeah.
Not that I ever had a pair, but
yeah.
I think that was like, I remember Umbros being a thing.
Umbros were also a thing. But these were they said IOU
Guess
and
jeans.
they had like some other stuff. Yeah. But anyway, I didn't have any of that and I felt worse than the girls that did. So I kind of came into this.
You were worse. You were a worse person. I mean, obviously, whoever is dressed best is the nicest and best
the coolest.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm sorry.
But,
like, why are we like that? It's just bizarro. It's just she's dying.
I'm joking. Yeah, I don't know. But I think it does also trickle down from celebrity culture. These celebrities like sporting these. They have this culture of excess. It's a celebrity thing, you know, status, access, brands. You know,
Yeah. I think now more than then, because what did we have? We had Cosmopolitan. We had People magazine. What else did we have? We didn't really
Teen Beat or something.
Yeah.
Teen
I mean,
Beat.
Kirk Cameron set the stage for everybody, but like,
who was your teen crush?
Oh God, I loved Christian Slater.
Oh, me too. Corey Haim was okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved Christian Slater a lot. And then New Kids on the Block, I remember I liked.
Yeah, which New Kid did you like? I was a Jordan fan.
I liked Jordan and I loved Joey, but then I was so insecure that I thought maybe John would go for me.
I'll take what I can get.
So I was like, I wasn't confident enough to even fantasy like Joey or Jordan. I'm like, John would probably go for me.
John, you know what? I'll deal with, I guess I'll take John. That's awesome. Whoa, God, that's so funny.
So let's take a break and then let's get into this book because there's a couple like cool things from the book that I'd love to discuss with you. Like some concepts.
Let's do it.
So
we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Minimalist Show.
We just don't say anything.
Just very. I almost put like minimalist and didn't spell it all the way out. So
we were having a hard time with minimalistic.
Yeah.
So the book, Goodbye Things. It's the new Japanese minimalism by Fumio Sasaki. I really liked this book because number one, we chose this book because the cover was minimalistic, right?
we judged the book on its cover.
By its cover. Well, hello. Okay. all the other books on minimalism, except Marie Kondo also did a good job, but I think Marie Kondo's been overdone. So we wanted like a different minimalism book. All the other minimalism books had like really busy covers. I'm like, are you fucking serious? You're missing the point.
Or they were like 8 hours long. I mean,
yeah. Hello. Like,
I don't need that in my life. Tell me what exactly to do and leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So this book, he basically talks about why he became a minimalist. And then he gets into like 55 tips on minimalism, on how to be a minimalist, how to live a minimalist lifestyle. And I thought
that was too many. I did. I was like, 50 what?
How many? It should be 3.
I know.
But what I loved about this book is he said minimalism is a state of mind, right? So basically paring things down to the essentials. And I started thinking about it, and he also mentioned this in the book, thinking broader than just things. And I thought about you, not even knowing it, decided to be a minimalist with your friends.
Yes.
Less, but high quality. What we talked about before the break. Less, but high quality.
And if I don't like it, if it makes me feel bad, I'm not keeping it.
Yeah.
And that is like, I've definitely changed my entire perception. Friendship should not feel bad in any way, shape, or form. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that came to my mind too, so many times.
Yeah.
And it's also come to my mind in like since reading this book, all my eating habits have changed, like less but high quality. Like this book is so good at changing, just tweaking your perception a little bit, just to see, okay, remove the riffraff of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Remove the clutter, because if you think about it, everything is energy. And if you had the more clutter you have everywhere, the more things you're doing, the more energy you're using. And you and I have both said multiple times that we are exhausted. And I shit you not, as soon as I started getting rid of things, I started having more energy. Because I realized even like little things, like a full closet with tons of clothes, was exhausting. And just removing that just created this space. I just started feeling more energized. Even you're like, when I'm logging on, you're like, you're looking good. And I'm feeling better.
You look so much lighter. You look so young. You look fresh.
Yeah.
I had 22 lip balms. When this all started. How chapped are my motherfucking lips? I mean, this is nuts.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I literally went through and just started getting rid of things. Like I have this daily goals, and on one of the goals is get rid of something every single day. And I've been getting rid of probably 20 things a day.
Yeah.
And I found a woman's shelter, and I'm dropping it off there. I feel so fucking good about myself. It's like, I mean, I am basically Mother Teresa because of my hoarding.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been crazy. It's such and like, Scarlett's loving it.
Oh.
We walked through Target. We drove our golf cart to Target, which we live like 5 minutes from. And Target, I'm going to tell you people, everybody needs to know, Target isn't good for the organized hoarder. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah. Well, he talks about this a lot, that the new shiny object does spark joy. It's like a drug. Yeah. It's like a drug. You're like, ooh, I want it. It's going to complete me. It says something about me. Oh, and then you buy it and you do have joy from it, but
Jason calls it a get.
Yeah.
You got to get your get.
Got to get the get. Yeah.
Got to get the get. And well, I walked through there with her. I said, Scarlett, let's play a game. Let's see how many things we don't buy. Mm-hmm. And we went through and we literally did not buy anything that we didn't absolutely need. And she said, when we were walking out, she goes, this has been the funnest trip to Target we've ever had.
I love that.
We just made it a total game.
Yeah.
And she was talking to me the other day. She goes, okay, let's write down our favorite things in our closet, what brands they are. And then let's just say we only put our favorite things in our closet. I was like, okay, this kid gets it.
She gets it. Yeah. And it is that mindset. Like it's the mindset of less. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
I love it too. My dad is a natural minimalist. He like gets like a high from packing like in a bag that's this big. Like he'd get to St. Thomas for a week and he'd have like 3 shirts and 2 pairs of shorts and he'd be like all proud of it. And I'd be like, Dad, why the fuck when you bring a normal suitcase, they charge you the same amount? Like, yeah. And that way you have what you need. But he like likes to have less.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, this book was really, really, really good for the organized hoarder.
Yeah. So some of the tips that he talks about, because there's plenty of them, but the one is that I liked. There's a couple that I liked. So one is ask yourself why I don't want to get rid of this. Yeah. And that was the ring for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't I want to get rid of this? What is attached to this? And when I answered those questions, it was easier for me to get rid of it because I'm like, I don't want this thing to have this much power over me. It was almost like I was giving away my power to the ring.
Right. Right.
So ask yourself, why do I not want to get rid of this? You know?
Well, and it talked about, and in the book, it talked about how, like, if you have like an attachment to a thing, it really is unhealthy because you're putting your your memories into a thing when that's a lie. That's not, your memories don't have to go with this particular, candle or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like just because you lit a candle once when you were having a good time doesn't mean you should keep every candle or buy every candle that you see or anything. Yeah. Like the sentimental attachment and memory does not go with the item.
Exactly.
Those are yours no matter what.
And he mentions that in the book, that you're not going to regret throwing anything away or getting rid of anything. And when you moved to the Virgin Islands, did you miss any of that stuff that you gave away?
We moved there with 5 duffel bags and a 2.5-year-old.
Did you miss any of the stuff that you gave away?
No. And I was happier than I've ever been. When we moved back to Naples from the Virgin Islands, we had nothing either. I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
I don't ever remember. I do love to purge, though. That's kind of a high that I get.
Yeah.
I know that about myself. So, but I don't remember anything. There's nothing that I wish I had. There's literally nothing that I wish I had.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't miss anything.
Yeah. I moved to Poland with 1 suitcase. 1 suitcase. 1. That's it.
Yeah.
And I lived for 1 year off of the clothes in that suitcase. And I was fine. I didn't need any more. That was it.
Yeah, I would venture to say that, if you have a lot of stuff, you're actually carrying more baggage than stuff.
Yeah.
You're holding on to something.
Yeah.
For me, it was like when we moved into the 2-bedroom condo, I was holding on to our little home and stuff for Scarlett. And what I was really teaching her is that these things that are inconveniencing us and falling all over us and we're having to work around are more important than our peace of mind.
Yeah.
And this book really helped me to kind of see that a lot clearer. And the happiest people I know have no clutter.
Mm-hmm.
And you really sized down. What all are you keeping?
So I have decided, and this is one of the tips in his book, is to have a quote unquote uniform. So kind of like Steve Jobs had the black turtleneck, Tom Ford jeans, and then he had his, I think, New Balance shoes or whatever shoes he wore. And that was his uniform. And
you're not going to be wearing that, are you?
No, I'm not going to be wearing that, but everybody... I hate turtlenecks. I don't know why. I feel like I'm being choked. I know you look good in turtlenecks.
I like being choked.
You have nice breasts. I have like these wide shoulders and I look like, I don't know, I look weird when I look like a football player that wears a turtleneck. Do you ever what I hate when football players, men, wear turtlenecks. They look just uncomfortable, and that's how I feel when I wear a turtleneck. So my uniform is not going to be a turtleneck. But he said to pick out like a uniform for yourself and just have that. So whatever that is for you. So I'm still trying to figure it out. But what I've decided to do is to have a capsule collection of clothing. It's going to be black t-shirt.
I love the term capsule collection.
I do too. It makes it sound so fancy. It was in, I think it was in that show. What's that show with Heidi Klum and Tim Gunn?
Oh, yeah.
And the designers. Yeah,
Runway.
Project One Way.
Yeah.
We're going to be designing a capsule collection for... That was my Tim Gunn impression. Was that good?
Yeah, that was so good. It was awesome. I'm sitting here.
So I've decided it's going to be black t-shirts, white t-shirts. I'm in Poland, so it's going to be like cashmere gray sweaters. I'm going to keep
fancy.
Yeah, I'm going to keep a color of red for our We Need Help brand. So that's going to be the color I take. I'm going to keep navy. So it's just going to be very like muted, and I'm going to have 2 pairs of jeans. And so they gave like little hints, because I'm like, when I thought about just really being minimalist and only having a few things, I thought I'm going to be doing laundry all the fucking time. And so my minimalism is going to be the same high quality t-shirt, like 5 white, 5 black, and then I could do laundry just once a week, because that's what I do laundry anyway. Just a few really high quality, nice sweaters. I like the long kind of hippie, like sweaters.
What happens when you have a fancy event? Are you just going to rent the runway?
Oh, I'm going to keep one dress. I have this long red dress that is just gorgeous. But if it's an event that requires something else, I'm going to borrow or rent. Yeah. Which I've done before. Maciek had these TV awards 2 years ago, I think. And I rented a gorgeous dress from this place called, it was like Rent the Runway. Yeah. And that's it. And I'm going to keep one. I have this really long red, beautiful dress. So I'm going to keep it. So yeah, I'm going to have this capsule wardrobe. So I'm really excited about it. I've already done it. I've already done quite a bit of it. So I feel great opening up my closet, because I know what I'm going to wear. I don't have any stress about it.
But I don't want to go down to a capsule collection. I want to be more like I want it to sound fancy, but I want a few more things than that. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So I've done it and I feel great about it. And it's really, it takes a certain level of security. And he said this, you actually become more self-confident because you are no longer hiding behind clothes. It's just you. It's just in the same clothes. And at first I was like, oh my God, what are people going to think when I'm wearing the same clothes over and over?
People aren't going to think.
And then I'm like, you know what? I don't give a shit.
I think it's very important. I told this to my friend Mo one time. She's like, people are going to think this. I was like, I got a news flash for everybody. Nobody thinks about you.
Yeah. Everyone's thinking about themselves.
They don't think about, I don't sit around and I'm like, what is Allison wearing today? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if I like it, I'll compliment it, but usually I don't say anything
Yeah.
because I usually don't like what people are wearing.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Like, that's not true. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't even say it. Like, I'm there to see them. I'm meeting their energy. I'm not like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but oh God.
Yeah.
It's felt good. Like even my seasonings in the kitchen, just getting rid of like everything but the basics.
Yeah, he said, okay, so for our listeners who are maybe contemplating this, like you don't have to go as extreme as I did, because I think I went pretty extreme. I just I just got rid of everything. But
like she kicked Machek out. No, just kidding.
he's gone.
He's gone. Cookie, you're lucky you can stay.
Yeah. Cookie's like staring up at me. Like, am I
She's
next?
like batting her eyelashes. Please don't get rid of me.
So some of his tips are, if you want to just start feeling a little better, start with things that are clearly junk, right? Clearly junk, like in the junk drawer, things that you haven't used in a year. That was one of his rules. Anything that you have in multiples. Get rid
like 22 lip balms.
Like 22 lip balms. Yeah. I like if you haven't used it in a year, that was very helpful to me. So he's got all these tips, and you could I like the fact that he has 55 of them because you can take some of them on. You don't have to take all of them.
Yeah, you don't have to.
You can pick and
he
choose.
said the thing I love the most and that I have been using every single day is if you like it, need it. Okay, so the reason people buy things is they like it, they need it, it goes towards their dream, or it is, I can't remember. There's like 4 of them. But the only reason you should buy something is if you need it,
Yeah.
or if it goes towards your dream.
Yeah.
If you want it, no. If if it makes your life, if it's a status symbol or, any symbol, it's, just don't buy it. Only buy it if you need it or it goes towards your dream.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
And I was like, that's a really good filter for buying things.
I loved it. And it's made me going to the mall. Like, I used to just love going to the mall and like scanning and shopping. And like, I realized what it is. Like, now I go to the mall, I don't even look because I'm like, I'm not going to buy anything. I have everything I need. It's a really, yeah.
That's
no,
weird.
They don't. So it's really changed my life. It's completely changed my life.
It's changed it, and I don't want to like kick off the magic or set people up, but once this starts happening, like abundance starts coming into your life.
Oh
like,
my
huge.
gosh, huge! Like I started getting rid of stuff, and all of a sudden, projects started pouring in.
Flow. That's a natural flow. If you have all this stuff and it's blocking your flow.
Yeah. Yeah. He has a really great quote in his book. He said, our things are like roommates, but we're paying the rent. I loved that.
So true.
So like, kick them out. You ain't paying the rent. Bye.
Yeah.
So I just love that.
So true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for making us do this book. I'm so glad you did. It's really been helpful. I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Goodbye, things. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Saka patata. I can't.
I think he's going to appreciate that.
Yeah. I got rid of his name. It's Fumio Sasaki. I didn't want to get it wrong.
Fumio Sasaki.
Fumio Sasaki.
Goodbye, things.
Goodbye,
by Fumio
things.
Sasaki. And what are we doing next week? We have no idea.
Doing. Wait, we do know what we're doing. No, we don't know what we're doing.
No,
we'll let you know.
that out.
It is a surprise.
We'll let you know. Well, I love you, and I'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on We Need Help, the podcast, the duct tape of self-help.
Please visit our website, weneedhelpthepodcast.com, where you can find links to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, and all the others, so you'll never miss a show.
You'll also find links to the books we've reviewed and our amazing store.
If you enjoy this podcast, go right now, because if you're anything like us, you'll never do it later. Like and share our page and episodes on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or just tell a friend about the show. That would help us out too.
Also, feel free to let us know what you need help with, and we'll try to cover it in a future episode. You can also find us on Instagram at weneedhelp_the podcast.
Thank you for listening.